Our next presenter is a 2004 graduate of Bentley University, where he also captained the football team. He is currently in the middle of his second season as head coach, and we're all very excited to see where he'll take the program. Please welcome head football coach Billy Cavanaugh.
Thanks, Jake. Congratulations to all the inductees for this year. Unlike Coach Stevens, I didn't coach Mark in college. I actually kind of followed him here. I only grew up about 5 miles from Mark, and as he was finishing his great career, I got an opportunity to play here for Coach Yetton the following season. And I didn't recruit him nor coach him, just heard a lot about him. And I could tell you, we really could have used a player like Mark today. You know, Mark's an interesting guy that since our time here at Bentley, we never ran into each other, but afterwards we've spent a lot of time together. And, you know, statistically, you know, Mark had a phenomenal career here with 238 catches, 3,700 yards, and 41 touchdowns. All of those were school records when he left, and he held 12 altogether. Mark did this in a time, you know, and amassed these amazing numbers where there weren't too many teams throwing the ball in college football 60 times a game, other than maybe Coach Yetton. But Mark was a 3-time all-conference player. As a senior, averaged 9 catches a game, which is amazing even in the era that we're in now. In that senior year, he was an All-American with the AP, Burger King, and USA Football. And when I got to Bentley, really had set the standard, you know, for football players here. Mark was a phenomenal player, and I heard a lot about it. I was able to see some of it. But not to be understated with Mark is what he did as a coach here as well. Mark recruited and coached some really tremendous players here as well, including a testament to him, a receiver who has been able to break most of, you know, his records, which is even better for what Mark's doing now. To me, Mark's a role model. He's a great colleague and a friend, and I'm really proud to be able to present to you a Hall of Fame player in person, Mark DeBrito.
As a coach, I usually give speeches. I give a lot of speeches and pep talks to my kids, and I don't write things down, but I have a lot of people to thank, so I just, you know, took the time to write things down just so I didn't forget anybody. And like Coach Cavanaugh, I'm coming off a loss from last night, so, you know, not the best of moods, but we'll make do. First off, I'd like to send my condolences to Miss Sandy Hoffman's family. Sandy was a special person to a lot of us. I got the opportunity to be here as a student athlete, and you know, she was always there to listen whenever, you know, I needed to speak to somebody and I couldn't find any of my coaches or you know, Coach DeFelice or anybody else. And Sandy you know, guided me in a lot of ways as a player, but also as an employee. At Bentley, when I was coaching, you know, I would take a lot of trips away, and Sandy was always correcting me when I would come back with all these receipts and things are everywhere. And she's like, no, you got to get this with the bookkeeping. We don't want, you know, to, you know, get you in trouble because you're doing this and doing that. But, you know, she was a wonderful woman, and my heart goes out to her, and it's a great honor to be inducted in the same class as Sandy. I would also like to thank God for blessing me with the skills and the talents to make it possible to stand in front of you today. Without God, nothing's possible. So I'd like to thank God. I'd like to congratulate the rest of the inductees. Again, everybody has had a stellar career, and yeah, Coach, we probably would make a good team. You know, there's a lot of All-Americans on the roster, so we definitely went out there, and with Sandy coaching us, would have beat a lot of teams in whatever sport we were playing. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting me with this prestigious honor. I'd like to thank my parents. Without your love and guidance, I will not be the man I am today. I'd like to thank my beautiful fiancée, Debbie, and my beautiful children. Thank you for the love we shared, Debbie, and the support you've given me throughout the years. To my kids, my 4 kids, hopefully I can continue to set an example for you so you can fulfill your dreams and goals and see that nothing is impossible. I'd like to thank my brothers, Manny, Johnny, and Zhuang. My brother Manny and Zhuang are here today. My brother Johnny couldn't make it. He works and he's a bigwig up in New York, and he runs a bunch of resorts, a bunch of hotels up there, so he couldn't make it here today because of work. But thank you guys. You guys are my biggest supporters. I love you for that. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my Park Street brothers. Park Street is where I grew up in, the neighborhood I grew up in New Bedford. Thank you for everything, guys. A lot of who I am today is because of you. I'd like to thank all my Bentley brothers. When things got a little tough for me at Bentley, you guys were always there for me, and I'm truly grateful for that. To my big brother, Rudy, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be standing here today. There were a number of times, when I wanted to leave Bentley, and you wouldn't allow it, and I thank you for that. I want to thank all of my high school coaches who are here today. Thank you for helping me. And these guys not only helped mold me, but now they're back on my staff now as the head coach of New Bedford High School. So now they're helping me mold another generation, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you to my JV basketball coach. It took a basketball coach to get me to come to Bentley. He actually took me on my visit here, and I had looked at other schools, and he was like, you know what, you got to try Bentley. You know, you have the academics, you got the grades. Why not try Bentley? So he drove me up here. I don't think I told my parents. So he drove me up here on a visit. I met with, Coach Pappas, who was here at the time, and I met with Coach DeFelice, and I took a visit of the campus, and he kind of talked me into coming here. So I just want to, say thank you to him. Thank you to all of my college coaches. It was great learning from you, and not only learning to be a great football player, a good football player, it was also great learning from you how to be a coach. We share a lot of memories, a lot of good times, and you guys definitely pointed me in the right direction. I especially want to thank Coach Peter Yetton. You put up with a lot of stuff, Coach. all my guys, all my family, and the people that supported me from back home in New Bedford, they would take a bus up here, and all they wanted you to do is throw me the ball, and they would give you it all the time. Thank you for putting up for me, coming up to you all the time saying, Coach, throw me the ball. I'm open. Throw me the ball. And also, thank you for putting up for my number 1 fan who's here today, Taylor Valentine, the blue guy. Who also wanted you to throw me the ball. But all jokes aside, Coach Yetton, you are an inspiration of who I want to be as a coach. Your skill to motivate players is unmatched. A lot of what I try to do now are skills I learned from you. You are a legend, and God bless me with the opportunity to learn from the best. Thank you. Thank you to Coach DeFelice. He always tells me you're going to put me on the tax returns. I hope you got a lot of money back. So I want a percentage, please. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come back and start my coaching career. I didn't play baseball. Probably my best sport was baseball, but he had these morning practices at like 5:30, 6 in the morning. I wasn't feeling that. So, Coach DeFelice, I'm sorry I didn't play baseball, but it's all right. You've been doing all right. Thank you to all my former teammates and players. To all the players that I coached at Bentley, you guys were awesome. I learned so much from you, and hopefully you learned a lot from me. It's great seeing you guys doing so much. And the last shout I'd like to give out is to my man Brooksy. We have a lot of memories together. See, when I was here as a player, Brooksy, listened to a lot of the, things I was going through and would listen to me and we'd talk. But then as a coach, me and Bentley got the opportunity to go chaperone in the Bahamas a few years Brooksy, very good times. Where's Brooksy at? You're my man. I hope I didn't forget to mention anyone who had an impact, but thank you to you all. Before I go, and I'll go away from the papers, and I just want to talk a little bit about something that I was thinking about. Should I talk about it? Should I not talk about it? But I'm going to talk about it. And as a coach, what I try to do is instill hope. I come from a city where we call it a gateway city, where the poverty's high, the drug use is high, the median income is $30,000 a year, and I got a lot of kids in my team that don't have much. And I just try to give them hope. And that's the only thing you can do is just help them try to find that motivation to want to strive and do something more than what they go through. Because a lot of them don't have two parents at home. A lot of them don't have anybody that has a college education. So I stress that every day. And for me, I talk to them about my story. And I almost didn't make it through Bentley. And it happened very early. My first year, actually my first few weeks at Bentley, I went to a situation where there were a few ignorant students who pretty much questioned me being at Bentley and why was I at Bentley and you don't belong here and this isn't the place for you, and it hurt because I never dealt with that. And I remember the incident that occurred, and when I was told I didn't belong there, I remember going back to my dorms. I was in the tree dorms. I remember going back into my dorms, crying, sitting in my bed and just crying and hysterically. And I was done. I'm going home. I'm not staying here. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. I'm not from, I'm a different kid. And I remember calling my dad, and my dad, God bless him, he's a cancer survivor, and he's 100% cancer-free, and he's here today with me. And I remember calling my dad and telling him that I want to leave. I'm out of here. I can't take this. And my dad came from, Cape Verde Islands, with nothing. They came here, and him and my mom, and they came here to give me and my brothers a chance at life, and a chance at education. And I thought my dad was going to give me this story and how he didn't speak the language when he got here and how he had to work all these odd jobs and do this and do that to support the family. But the only thing he said to me was like, all right, I'll pick you up tomorrow. And before he hung up the phone, he said, they won. And that resonated with me through the night, and I didn't sleep that whole night. And when my dad came to pick me up the next day, my bags weren't packed. I wasn't going to leave. I didn't remember the kids who, I had the confrontation with. But all I remembered was that I was going to do some big things here. I was going to make sure those kids remember me when I left here. And, a lot of my motivation, through my 4 years as a player, and again, the stats are stats. It is what it is. It is what it is. But a lot of it was like, I'm going to show these guys that, hey, man, you got to remember me because I'm going to be in these record books. You're going to remember me because when you go to the game, you're going to see me out there performing, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do the best I can for my team. But most importantly, I got my college degree in 4 years. And that was, to me, the story I give my kids is hope, because I was told I couldn't make it. I was told I didn't belong, but I belong. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I left here, I said if I was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, I'm not accepting that. I don't even want anything associated with the school. But it took me coming back. It took, Coach Yen, Coach DeFelice, Dr. Avery giving me an opportunity to come back and coach. And it took some of those young men that I coached for the 7 years I was here who gave me a different perspective. And I wasn't going to take the job. My brother Manny said, hey, man, you get a chance to make a difference. You can go back there and do something different. Let these kids have a better experience than you had. And me coming back here, honestly, it changed the way I looked at things. And I'm glad I did. I'm still coaching. I still get a chance to do God's work and give back to these kids, and it's just a blessing. So to everybody, and I got my son, my nephew here, don't let anybody tell you don't belong. Keep working hard, keep your dreams alive, and keep the hope alive. Thank you very much, and God bless.